Hardest hitters from Ring of Honor, CM Punk and Samoa Joe, about to lock it up here at International Showdown momentarily. What a matchup this is going to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is sponsored by FWA Manchester. It is set for one fall. Introducing first,
here comes CM Punk, about to make his way down to ringside here in Coventry.
Making his way to the ring, CM Punk!
Well, CM Punk, 6 years now a pro. He's appeared in TNA, Ring of Honor, IWA Mid-South, FWA, the two-time Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion with Colt Cabana, who was over in England earlier, in 2004 actually, he was over. He had a long-running feud with Raven that crossed over into several promotions. And one thing to note, although he's never managed to beat Samoa Joe, if there's one place he's going to do it, it'll be in England, I think, because he's got a very good record in England. He holds victories over Colt Cabana, Raven, and a pinfall over Doug Williams as well, which is no mean feat.
Indeed, this man with some very, very impressive credentials, no question about that. He's a two-time IWA Mid-South Light Heavyweight Champion and a five-time IWA Mid-South Heavyweight Champion.
And his opponent.
And here comes one of my favorite people in the wrestling business, Samoa Joe. 6'2", 280 pounds. He's got a 60-pound weight advantage on Punk.
Samoa Joe!
Debuted in the same year, 99. And he's famous for being the longest reigning Ring of Honor champion of all time. He held that belt for an incredible 18 months, from March 2003 to December 2004, 31 successful defenses of that title, even. And that includes wins over Doug Williams, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, AJ Styles and CM Punk.
You talk about a tough individual, you've got to be talking about Samoa Joe. This young man trained by Cincinnati Red back in 1999, and he was the third Ring of Honor champion, as a matter of fact. A very, very impressive individual, and is no stranger to the spotlight. As a matter of fact, in 1984, he participated in the opening ceremonies of the Olympic Games.
When he was just 5 years old. How about that?
The bell sounds, and we're ready for action here. These two guys, as you said, Dean, know each other very, very well, have fought on several occasions.
Well, they had two famous 60-minute time limit draws over the Ring of Honor World title last year. Joe finally managed to defeat Punk on the third attempt in a no time limit match. And as I said, Punk has never beaten Joe. Will tonight be his lucky night? Will England prove lucky for Punk? Or will Joe overcome him again? I've noticed Punk's right leg heavily, or the thigh is heavily strapped. Obviously something not quite right there. I wonder if Joe will be going for that leg.
Yes, his leg is very heavily taped. And Joe, being the consummate ring professional that he is, you would expect him to draw a bullseye on it and focus on it throughout this contest. We're going to have to wait and see what happens here. And CM Punk would be wise to utilize his superior speed and quickness advantage over the much larger CM Punk, as you said, a 60-pound weight advantage for Samoa Joe.
You know something, Amy? Do you know what I'd do if I had a bad right leg?
What?
I'd take the left one. It's a bad move. You're telegraphing that you've got an injury there. But then again, that's why I'm a twisted genius, and you're not.
Samoa Joe now out wrestling CM Punk there in the early stages of the contest. And one thing about Samoa Joe, regardless of his big size, you would expect him to be an all-out power wrestler, but he's a very well-rounded individual in the ring.
Oh, he can do it all. He can. You don't hold a championship like the Ring of Honor belt for 18 months by luck. Now tell me something. This straight edge lifestyle that Punk's known for. How does that benefit you in the wrestling ring? You know, what is it? He says no drugs, no alcohol, no promiscuous sex.
Well, he apparently thinks he's above everybody else with his healthy living and his lifestyle that he leads.
I mean, let's face it, I mean, if it wasn't for promiscuous sex, half the people in attendance here tonight wouldn't exist.
Well, I don't know about that.
You've never been to a concert and a night out then, have you?
No, unfortunately not, but you may take me out after the show.
Well, I'm going to be going out with Samoa Joe to celebrate victory, you know, with a few Mai Tais, that kind of thing afterwards.
CM Punk now avoiding contact with Joe earlier on, trying to break the momentum of the big man.
So that means that CM Punk he's never had a night out on the lash?
Well, I wouldn't suspect so, being he's all clean living and all of that.
He doesn't know what he's missing.
Greco-Roman knuckle-lock now applied in the center of the ring. Samoa Joe going for that left thigh of CM Punk, and what a devastating shot right to the face, an open hand slap there by Joe. But as you said earlier, the right thigh of CM Punk taped up. So Joe focusing on the left and trying to totally incapacitate his opponent. And these fans all over CM Punk here in Coventry, and he's not going to take too kindly to that.
Let's face it, when Joe hits you, you know about it. You do not mess with this man.
Side headlock now applied by CM Punk. And it's going to be interesting to see whether or not CM Punk can execute the Pepsi plunge on Samoa Joe, being that Samoa Joe has that low center of gravity.
And of course 60 pounds on him, as we said. Very interesting indeed.
Wrist lock now applied, Greco-Roman knuckle lock, by CM Punk. And one thing that you can do when a guy is stronger than you, as Joe breaks CM Punk down to the canvas, or attempts to, is you work on one of his arms and try to diminish the strength of the arm and negate that power advantage. Joe now bridging out of that pinning predicament, and CM Punk laying all of his weight down on Samoa Joe. And great neck strength being shown here by Samoa Joe.
Well, you were saying about the agility of the man, and I think that's the demonstration of it there. How many other 280-pound men, that's 20 stone, how many people of that weight could make a bridge like that?
Joe now on the receiving end of a devastating forearm as CM Punk walks up top, moonsault off the ropes right into the hip lock. Tremendous agility shown by this young man. Did a kick out there by Joe.
Great move by Punk, reminiscent of the late great Owen Hart.
Series of arm drags there by both men. Drop toe hold by Joe. And oh my goodness, what a shot to the side of the head. But CM Punk counters with a roll up and gets a 2 count.
I don't know if he connected there or if Punk managed to get out of the way, but that certainly landed, as did that.
Stiff kicks right to the solar plexus.
Joe doesn't look amused, does he?
And Joe is not one person that you want to tick off, no question about that. He is one mean individual, and those shots having no effect at all, but those shots having some effect on CM Punk. Check out those kicks, and enziguri right to the back of the head. What agility.
And did you see the look on Joe's face as he was delivering those kicks?
Samoa Joe taking CM Punk back to his feet as this crowd gets into this matchup.
They want to see the ole ole kick.
What a chop right to the back. But that kick countered nicely there by CM Punk.
Nicely done. I mean, these two guys wrestled each other many times. Punk definitely knows what's happening. He definitely knows what to expect from Joe, because there's twice now that he's managed to counter those kicks of the big Samoan. And
with two opponents who know each other so well, as in many other cases, it's going to be the case, I believe, of one mistake is all it's going to take to end this match. As a beautiful counter out of the side headlock there by Samoa Joe moments ago, but CM Punk, to his credit, maintains control with a side headlock.
I think Joe is going to go more for the approach of just wearing his opponent down with that hard-hitting offense, especially with that injured right thigh bullseye, as we've said earlier on Punk there.
Head scissors now applied by Joe, and when you're trapped in a head scissors by a guy the size of Joe who's got tree trunks for legs, it's going to be quite a task to get out of it. But CM Punk trying his best, and indeed breaks out of the head scissors nicely. He's got the legs of Joe, crisscrossed, and then a drop kick right to the face by CM Punk.
I have to correct you there. He's got tree trunks for arms. He has children for legs. Nice dodge.
Snapmare takeover by Joe. And he shows CM Punk how it's done. The jump to the back of the neck, the kick to the chest, and the knee drop right to the face. If this could do it, the leg is hooked, but nonchalantly, and a 2 count is all he can get. CM Punk, regardless of his size, Joe cannot